Hi folkens! Today's topic is a very fun one. I know you love this. Adjectives. So if you are confused about how to put your adjectives into the right form, if you've struggled with this before, or you're completely new to this, then you've come to the right place. This can be a lot of information. If you're not very comfortable with grammar, I recommend, if it's possible, to write down the examples that I come up with so that you can actually see it in front of you and understand it more clearly. So first of all, I want to divide the use of adjectives into two categories. The first use is in the definite form, and the other one is in the indefinite form. And the reason why I do this, you will probably understand later. So when you use the indefinite form, or actually there are three forms for most adjectives. So all of these three forms are indefinite. And what that means is that when you use adjectives in their indefinite forms, the function of the adjective is to give extra information about something or someone. The structure of the sentence can look different. So, for instance, you can say, I have a nice car, right? Then nice would be the adjective. A nice car. I'm just adding information about the car. I'm not using the adjective to define which car I'm talking about, right? I could also say, the car is nice. I could put nice after the verb to add a description. Same thing. It has the same function here. You're just adding information about the car. We already know which car we are talking about, or at least we're not using it to describe which car we're talking about. Okay, so this is how you use the indefinite form. Whereas the definite form is used to define which thing you are talking about. So when I say, the nice car, or the beautiful house, I'm pointing out among maybe 10 houses which house I am talking about. It is like figuratively pointing at it. I'm using the adjective to point out among several which one I'm talking about. So that's when you use the definite form. All right? In English, you would add the in front of it. The adjective noun. The nice car. The big dog. The weird person. Okay? Or that beautiful creature, those nice earrings, right? Either you're figuratively pointing or actually physically pointing at something, and you use the adjective to clarify which thing you're talking about. Okay, now when you know this, let's start with what you normally would learn in a Norwegian class, which is the indefinite form. And as you might know already, there are three different forms you can use. So you have the dictionary form, and then you have the possibility to add a T or an E. So TE or nothing, just the dictionary form. The dictionary form is used when you describe one thing that is, so singular, that is either masculine or feminine. So I could, for instance, say, bilen fin. The car is nice. So fin is the dictionary form. I could also say, det en fin bil. Det en fin bil. That's a nice car, or it's a nice car. So bil is masculine, that's why I'm using the dictionary form fin. If I had a feminine word, I would use exactly the same. So I would say, jeg har ei fin lampe. Jeg har ei fin lampe. Not using fin to describe which lamp I'm talking about, just describing it. That's all. I could also say, lampa mi fin. Lampa mi fin. My lamp is nice. It's pretty. And still here, I'm not defining which one, just adding information about it. We already know which lamp we're talking about here. So I'm just adding more information. All right, the next form is with a T. And we're still only describing one thing. But this is for the neutral or neuter nouns. So I could, for instance, say, jeg har et fint hus. Jeg har et fint hus. I have a nice house or pretty house. I could also say, huset fint. The house is nice. Huset fint. Here the adjective came after the verb, but I'm still, and the what can be confusing is that the noun is definite, the house, right? But I'm still not defining which house or which thing. We already know, just extra information. The house that we've talked about before is nice or pretty. Huset fint. Fint or any other adjective with the T added is very often used together with det. Det fint. And that's the version of adjectives that we'll use when we describe something that doesn't have a gender. Right? If you say, for instance, I got a new job, and I can say, det fint. That's nice. When I say that, det fint, I'm not referring back to any noun. Whenever I point back at something that doesn't have a gender, like a full sentence, the fact that you got a job, then I would use det, referring back to everything you said, det. Det fint. So now we looked at the two singular forms of adjectives. So what do we have left? We have plural. And for plural, we don't have to worry about the gender. So it's always the same. It's with an E in the end. So for instance, I could say, jeg har to fine biler. I have two nice cars. Jeg har to fine biler. So the ending to the adjective in plural is not the same as the ending to the noun, right? Biler, cars, er. Fine, just e for the adjective. Fine biler. Or maybe I could say, bilene fine. The cars are nice. In both cases, I am still not using the adjective to define which thing or things I'm talking about, only adding extra information. When we use the adjective in the definite form, adjective needs to be directly connected to the noun. And what does that mean? It means that it comes right before the noun. And you've learned so far that in Norwegian, we don't say the, right? We don't say the car, the house. We say car the, bilen, right? We put the definite article in the end of the word. Or huset, house the. And the ending of that would vary according to the gender, or whether it's singular or plural. So if it's the car is masculine, I would say bilen, N for masculine. If it's the lamp, which is feminine, I would say lampa, A for feminine. If it's the house, it's et, huset, pronounced just huset, the house. But now you might be confused because when you have, in addition to that noun, you have an adjective. The adjective requires what we call a demonstrative, which is very similar to the definite article. When I want to say, for instance, the nice car or the pretty car, then I'm using nice to point out which car I'm talking about, whether there's a group of cars in front of me and I want to point out which one. Or I've been talking about one ugly and one nice car, and then I want to refer back to the nice car. That's when I'm going to say the nice car, not the ugly one, the nice one. Then I need to put a word in front of that, in front of the adjective. And you have three options. You have den, if it's masculine. So car is masculine, I would use den. If it was neutral, I would use det, D-E-T. And if it's plural, I would use D, D-E. Now you might say to me, hold on. That's not possible because den and det, it means it. And D means they. How can that possibly mean thee? Well, it also means that. So two different functions. Den, det, and D can also mean the or that or those. In Norwegian, you do not differentiate between the adjective noun and that adjective noun. So whether you're figuratively pointing back at something or physically pointing at something, we do not differentiate that when there is an adjective. Because the point of the adjective here, whether you're saying the nice car or that nice car in English, is to point out which car you're talking about. And the context will tell you if you're physically pointing it out or figuratively. So if I say, den fine bilen, if I'm pointing, I guess I would translate with that nice car, that pretty car. And if I'm pointing back at something that we've talked about, then it means the or that nice car. And if you paid close attention to my phrase, you might have noticed that I added an E to the adjective. I said, den fine bilen. That's the definite form of the adjective. So if you paid close attention, it is exactly the same as plural. If you describe a noun that is definite, you do not have to worry about whether it's plural or singular or which gender it is. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be E ending. So you would say, den fine bilen. Den fine lampa. That pretty lamp. Det fine huset. That pretty house. And just a quick pause here. But if you translate this literally, it's very, very weird in English. Det fine huset literally means the nice, the house. Every single word is definite. And the last example, de fine bilen. The nice, the cars. when you have this structure, the fact that you add this determinative in front of the adjective, so den, det, de, you can actually skip the noun. If we already know what we are talking about, you can skip it. If somebody's asking you, oh, which car do you want? The pretty one or the ugly one? You can say, den fina. Den fina. That means the pretty one. I know that's a lot, but I hope it is logical. As always, I'll give you an exercise. This time I'm going to give you some sentences where I would like you to fill in the blank. I'm going to use a different adjective this time. Instead of fin, let's use god. God, godt, gode. God, godt, gode. So god is the dictionary one. Godt opens up a little bit. That's with the T in the end. And gode, G-O-D-E, that's with an E in the end. All right. Here's my sentence. Jeg vil ha 2 blank brød. I want 2 blank bread. Du er en blank venn. You are a good friend. Maten er blank. The food is good. Brødet var blank. The bread was good. Okay, last one. De blank naboene mine betyr mye. I will repeat that one. De blank naboene mine betyr mye. The good neighbors of mine, or my good neighbors, means one of them, a lot. That was a more complicated one, but you should be able to understand that one as well. If you understood the rules, you're capable of doing that one as well. All right. Lykke til. Let me know the right answers in the comment field below. And if you have any feedback, any thoughts, any questions, feel free to write me either here or by email. Takk for i dag. Vi høres.